on this cold morning. So I'm going to invite some people and then we can chant. So I'm just going to copy this, post it here. Paste. There's the link. Put it on Facebook. Really great when I'm showing something and I'm carrying on doing it. I can do it. There you go. It's like with Rango, kind of reminding him and giving him prompts to get on the computer. And yeah, he's been able to remember how to. Oh, actually, did it not? I can't see the link on there. And I just posted the link. 1 moment. Let's copy this link again. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Let's turn this down. Prabhu Nityananda. So again, I'll paste it on here. Paste. Post. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay. That's so strange. I just posted it. So it's on my computer laptop, but it's not on my phone. Anyway, I suppose that's okay. So we'll just invite the class, just put it in the groups. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shivas, Adigoda, Gora Bhaktavinda. Oh, where am I? Just got to get rid of this page. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita, Gadadhara, Shivas, Gora Bhaktavinda. Okay, I'm just going to invite some devotees that I know. I'm not in the groups. I saw someone. Yay, it's Tarun. Hare Krishna, Tarun. Good morning to you, Nimai. Okay. That'll be all right. It's in the groups now anyway. So, okay. Good morning to you, Fanny. Good morning to you, Hare Krishna. So I'm going to chant, so we can chant together if you want to. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adigora Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Is there something on there? Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. 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 Hare 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 Rama. Hare Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare 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 Krishna Krishna. Hey William, you're still up late. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Everything that's been happening with the Sangha today, up to date, everything that we've been going through, the process that we've been following, has come to this place where we're all going through this kind of collective purifying. Govinda said something that was interesting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna is claimed us. He said he owns us, actually. And yeah, so good morning, William. He owns us. Hare Krishna. So we're at such a place. We're at such a place that we've got so far, and it's just a little bit. But this little bit of getting closer to Krishna and beginning this eternal relationship with him has got so far that it's bringing more clearings out for us, quicker clearings. Because Krishna's like going, I'm doing it, and I'm sure, and I know Karuna's doing it. Confirmed. Let me just turn this down. Okay. The answer gone live as well. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's prepared me. That's the word I was going to use. All the purifications that I've been going through and everything that's been happening has prepared me, more so for others going through more purifications. It's prepared me for that. So, yeah, I'm ready. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And we've been guided, instructed, held at every point. And the more we go through the clearings, the more we're held. The more we can show ourselves. The more we can, because we're held, because it's who we are. And in order to go with who we are, we've got to let go of where we're at to grow into our relationship with Krishna. And as that, I love it. That devotional seed, that seed of devotion just grows and grows. Because for me, not understanding love at all, to really feeling this, being bathed by this pure love of Krishna and being able to do all of those things that my parents weren't able to do for us, the teachers weren't able to do for us, counselors weren't able to do for us, doctors weren't able to do for us. Actually, practically everybody is incomplete and cannot help you fully. It's to be prepared like this in the greatest path ever by a real bona fide spiritual master. Like we have teachers at school, and we have a liking to certain teachers to others, and I've been trying to find the greatest teacher, always going and sitting with lecturers and professors and teachers, just because they kind of knew more than the students, so I wanted to be with them. And here I found the greatest professor, transcendental professor. Let's give those titles a material. People in material they understand as authority in something. This is authority in representing the Lord, bringing his authority upon us, and bathing in that vibration, because we cannot do things by ourselves. We can to a degree. It will definitely burn us out. We'll definitely get reactions from it. Excuse me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So it's like, excuse me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Like Prabhupada started everything, and now, he couldn't have gone through those thousands of devotees going through this kind of purification. It takes it needs the power of the Lord to be here, to be here and help us. Excuse me. What is that? Okay. So he couldn't have done it. And here, Srila Gaura that's by the order of Srila Prabhupada, has gone further, because he knows that he could take over and do the job and go further with what Prabhupada taught, even though Prabhupada knew everything. He just came down to do a certain job. We do jobs. We know lots of things to do with the material world, but we do a certain job. We just need to do that job. Prabhupada did that. Srila Guru Haridas is making all of these living Bhagavats, spiritual masters, living Bhagavats, more so, so more people. So the Sangha is ready for more devotees to come, and we can take care of what they go through, because we are becoming as our Lord, as our bona fide spiritual master, who transcends all blaspheming, transcends all kind of things, unless we really need to go through something and deal with it. There's still transcendence there, because the Lord is doing it for us. And it's only when we fight, it just kind of makes it longer and worse. That's my kind of thing. But that's a pattern that I've been doing, kind of always fighting with the doctors, not doing that, doctor, sorry, just trying to do all of that kind of stuff. But it's not necessary to do that anymore. We fight for absolute truth. We don't need to fight for because the absolute truth, standing up for that, actually being in that, has given me everything to be able to let go of all of those and I use them still, like the people at the hospital, the nurses, and I need to use them for my bloods, and also we use them for what we need to get by, and everything else, this greater knowledge of understanding that we're not this body, really. Because, the Vaidis kind of know it. Some of them may know it more than, kind of experience it more than others. I don't know about that. And here, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. So we're talking about, I don't know, what was I talking about? Krishna, what was I saying? Yeah, so we want to be like our spiritual master. They, our bona fide, Srila Guru Haridas, be as him. I've watched Maharaj over the years get stronger and stronger and stronger and more empowered. Now, that could be because I'm more cleared out, because I'm sure Maharaj was saying the same thing back then, to a degree, to what he's saying now. And he's changed. He's got more, he was holding things, because he said to me, he did get upset by some of my stuff. But he didn't show it. And now he doesn't get upset by hardly anything. And we are becoming like that, to be ready for other devotees to come. As they come, we can, William came and he said something just out of, it's actually like Krishna pushed it out of you. What you said to Lalita, and it went, but she needed that, because devotees hold things and they need something to push it out, so it can come to the surface. It might not go, because that's the first step of seeing it and pushing it out. The next step is to admit it, really. Oh my God, we cannot admit without the Lord, without the power, that empowerment. We cannot admit things that we cannot remember, that we've taken on board from a little child or other lifetimes. I don't know, other lifetimes. We can't remember those things. And then we are reluctant. We are reluctant, and this is all of us. We are reluctant to get rid of things that have been part of us from when we can remember. That's just who I am. No, that's just something that you've taken on board that you need to let go of. And the only way to push it out is like how William did it, how William just did it so kind of innocently, but it did push everything further. Movement, you created movement. This is all about movement, the feelings of the emotions. It's about moving and getting it out. As we get stuck, then we get bound. As we're moving and moving. I don't mean running around and going jogging and running around. I mean moving inside with our internal, with our relationship with Krishna. And as our relationship gets with Krishna, we become more conscious, more and more conscious of Krishna. And we start to have that understanding. We start to realize things because he's sharing things with us. We start to see how he deals with everything, because things happen and we get these feelings, usually anxiety or a bit of pressure, a bit of stress. We get these feelings, and if we focus on the feelings, then they stay for ages and we can't seem to figure things out. Now, if we let Krishna do it and we stay with the Lord, we stay in this potency and association, we stay in that and allow Krishna to sort it out, and we don't feel great. It doesn't feel, but the process. This is the process now, because you've been through it so many times. That feeling not so, great. can be just stable. It can be just there. So you're going through purification. This is a change, going through purification with a distance. And you can see you're clearing. And I can understand more. I can understand clearly what Maharaj is saying more because of my own experiences. It's like, wow, you don't want to be with other people who don't understand this. You want to be with people who are on the same page, where you can relate. And it happens here. So it takes you away from, mundane people, mundane things, to bring you to transcendental things, to transcendence. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. If you just let me know who's here, that'd be great. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I want to learn more about the devotees, the spiritual, the elevated devotees, exalted devotees, in spirit, because they're the ones that are pure devotees. They're our real friends, our true friends in the Sangha, to be able to let us carry on, no matter what our crusts are, no matter what our thorns are, no matter how our behavior is, we can still walk this path. And as we grow into more and more maturity, we can let others go through their purifications, instead of going, what they're doing, but let them go through their purification, because it's part of the process and we know it because we've been part of this. And we know, so others can go through this because you've been through it. Well, and after listening to Maharaj to date, it goes on and on, and it's great because Maharaj is so, as he's admitting his stuff, he's getting more and more empowered, more and more happy, more and more, joyful, more and more us getting joyful and happy and wanting to sharing that every single day. And this is the bona fide spiritual master, why he's so elevated and so great and so advanced, because he's doing what we're doing. We are going through this purification, and any little bits that he has left, he's going through it. He's admitting it. He's telling us. He's learning. What he is doing is what we are doing. What kind of spiritual master is that? I only know this typical thing about Vaidhi gurus, what they do and how they just want to be worshipped, and they do the same thing. They don't actually speak because they don't really know how to fully, truly speak from the heart. So that vibration where the Lord is residing, that vibration goes to others, and they can feel it too because they have the Lord in the heart as well. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. I don't know why, and I don't really know who's here. I don't know why. Well, it's Krishna. He wants me to talk about this stuff. He wants me to talk about the entanglements that people are entangled in. And I want to know more of the devotees, the spiritual devotees. Oh, Krishna, I want to do that. He goes, no, you got to do this. So we serve the Lord as he wishes, as much as we can. Hare Krishna. Sometimes we cannot, and it's okay because he sees what we're doing. He knows our hearts. He's there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So I'm going to read. I'm just going to turn this up a little because it's quite lovely. I don't think it's a bit loud. Okay, I'm going to read from the Chaitanya Mangala. Now I'm going to read from the I'm going to read from the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Shri Advaita Chandra. Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora. I offer my respectful obeisances to the praise and glorification of the most advanced spiritual master, ecstatic in that, propagating the movement, Acharya, maintaining relationships with the Lord, Maharaj, crazy, mad, and funny, avadut, traveler, Paramahamsa, Bhakti Vedanta. His knowledge is so great, so pure, so great, so real. It comes out of his bhakti, out of his pure love for the Lord, pure love from the Lord, pure love to the devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. All glories to you for heading this movement of Raganuga Bhakti. Congratulations to you for heading this movement and making all of these students to actually see the work of the teacher, to see the work of the guide and the teacher guiding his students through, making them, and actually the teachers actually seeing in a way, in a transcendental way, these students as his children and seeing them grow, having that empowerment. Wow. I've been hanging around actually with a lot of older guys for a long time. Actually, always in their 70s and 60s and 70s and 80s. You know, old guys with white beards. All the time looking for guidance. I didn't know that. Looking for guidance. And it seems like that the older people have the guidance, but it's not always like that now. But Maharaj is the one that I was looking for. I didn't know I was doing these things. We're just led to do certain things. I needed to be with like lecturers and professors. I needed to be with somebody who was representing something higher. I was looking for something higher. I didn't really know what until I reached here with Maharaj, and I found Maharaj. And through watching Meena, I found her through Meena Devi Das, who is not here right now at the moment. She'll be back. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I can't begin to know if you understand. There's nowhere else to go. There's no more that we can receive. This is the highest. This is the absolute truth. There's nothing beyond absolute. It's absolute. And there's nothing, there's nowhere for us to go. We can go look other places. We can hear other things. You know, I'm looking into, well, I'm trying to look into crypto at the moment, and I've got a bit of help. But it's quite intense. And I'm hoping it to get easier because, you know, I want to be freed from the bindings of, you know, the money system, you know, freed from that and I've always wanted it. But now it's not so much because I'm looked after by the government. I am. The body is looked after by the government. It's still like that here to a degree. I don't know when things will change in that way, but I'm okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I'll do it in my own time. As, you know, we have been able to come to school, spiritual school in our own time as much as we can. And we've been getting so much from this. Waking up early and going to spiritual school every day and listening to the classes, you know, learning the highest knowledge is what I was looking for. And this is where I found everything to help me with all areas of my life. And I'm not saying I leave everything. Like I don't do any research and I don't look into crypto. I don't look into something that's happening to me. You know, I don't really look into those things. No, we add it to it all. We don't let go of the Lord. We just add the Lord to everything that we do. He is the relish on everything that we do. After my God, 35 years or so since I've been sick, you know, been eating in a way. I haven't been eating any relishes, you know, that make your food taste nice because I don't want the calories. This is where I was. I don't want to have, you know, get huge. And now I use relish. I have Krishna and now I have relishes as well. Put on your food as well. You know, so what's the other thing? I feel rested. You feel rested in everything we do. Just feel rested. Even like with the purifications that maybe you saw Lolita. I don't know if it's you, really, but the things I've been doing with devotees. I had one with Maria, who's recently just left. But I know that Maharaj has left her with the Lord in them. Now it's for her to nourish the Lord, the seed of devotion within her. You know, she spent all that time with Maharaj. I've known Maharaj for the 5 years, personally living with Maharaj, and you know what that entails: eating, drinking, and not alcohol, and going out. Actually, Maharaj used to sometimes going out and getting to know each other. And now I've forgotten what I was saying. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let's go. So we will read, because I'm glorifying Maharaj. I can't help but glorifying what Maharaj does. You know, I go off onto that circle of glorifying Maharaj. I was talking about Maria. He gave her so much. I never seen what Maharaj gave her and how he was with her, with any of us. It's because of, you know, the way she was. We were more, she didn't know anything at all about this. God, yeah. And but she's left, and Maharaj has left her with stuff. So when she comes back, it will start back quickly. And her seeing somebody, I was trying to figure that out myself. Her seeing somebody, well, she can only see somebody, and he's always with Maharaj because of Maharaj. But she didn't know, like Maharaj, she couldn't speak about him. She didn't know who he was. But if she stayed here, she would have been able to do that. And the moment she comes back, there, Maharaj gave her so much. He did so much for her because he adapted to her. He adapts to us. He adapted to her. She needed all of this. And all of that Maharaj gave her, that was actually making me jealous. Because I was not jealous of her. I was jealous of how Maharaj was treating her. I was like, how come Maharaj is doing all of that for her? And he did the same for me. What am I talking about? I didn't see it. And really gentle, really like a father to a child. A teacher to his student. It was more than that, actually. It was a deeper, intimate relationship that we don't really have with our material teachers in education, material education. Hare Krishna. Glorifying him is like, I can talk about Maharaj and what he does and how he does it. And it goes on and on and on. And I've just realized, because Govinda's been doing that forever. You know, he's been talking about Maharaj and doing his life story. And just that link, strengthen the link. Woo, the seed. So the seed can get the nutrients and grow, and we can keep moving and come out of the stuckness. And this is a great thing for me. I've been stuck. Inside it's been kind of moving in this with Maya, but not kind of moving. But now the inside is moving with the Lord so much more. And I am, because what I'm manifesting in here with the relationship with the Lord is manifesting on the outside. So you want to go to others and share it with others. You know, I look to Govinda because he's always traveling around to meet other devotees, to introduce them to the Lord, or to give more information, discuss the Lord. He was saying discussion with Prahlad. Yeah, it's brilliant. I can say that I'm an okay human being now. Just okay. I don't think I'm terrible. I'm not going to torture myself with, oh, you're just this and you're just that and you're just this. It's the false ego that is that we have given power to and taken over us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's the false ego that's it. So all glories to Srila Gauranga Das for everything that you have done to be able to walk life with God right now. To be humbled and know so much more, because I've been given it by hearing the highest devotional service, hearing so much. And being in that vibration. You know, when you hear music or you hear some kind of certain kind of music, it kind of puts you in a state, you know, but that's just all for the body. And it's okay. Don't stop that if it is helping you. But when we listen to the transcendental vibration of the Lord, it's beyond here. We've just been fortunate, so fortunate to be here in the 28th Divya Yuga, where Lord Caitanya has reincarnated. Oh God. Wow. Krishna. To be real. What can to be real, really real, and show yourself? What can the media do? What can they do to put you down? They do it with all the famous people. What can the devotees do? What can they do? They have no proof. It's just, they do what the media does. The media just goes in, looks at these people, decides that they're going to write this story, maybe do a little teeny bit of research. It seems like they do a lot, but I don't think they have the money and the manpower to do it. So it's superficial. It's all surface stuff. They can't go any deeper. So the same with the media. It's the same with the devotees when they say things about us. They put those pictures on of Maharaj doing these popper piles. And that was when I first met him. And it was intense, but I surrendered to Maharaj and I let him guide me in this. And it worked out because of the intimateness in this relationship. They don't have no relationship with the Lord like we do. To that extent, and they don't have an intimacy, that kind of intimacy with the Lord. So they were just superficial and looking at and just put these pictures on and just putting words like they do in the media to these pictures, and they weren't true. And we've been empowered so much to rise out of these little mundane things that these little children do to hurt others, to bring others down because they haven't grown into maturity, and you can't without the Lord. You can go to a certain degree because of maybe your last life. You had a guru and you grew to some form of maturity. Yes, we do. So all glories to you, Srila Gaura Hari Das. Oh my God, my life is just for you, to do as much as I can for you. And if I don't want to do it, I look into it myself. Why I don't want to follow this order that Maharaj, not order, suggestion. And I look into that. Do you know what it is actually? Sometimes we're not ready to do it straight away when Maharaj suggests to us. We're just not ready. And then all of a sudden, at a certain point, we kind of get an attraction to wanting to do that. And I tell you what, it works out. It brings more intimacy with the Lord, and the words emanating from Maharaj, which are being installed in our heart, and we are growing. And it's really, truly, nobody's going to grow to this extent here without hearing from Srila Gaura Hari Das or the devotees as well. It's not happened. Everybody's been really, really angry, and kind of, what's the right word? About the Christians saying that you can only get to Jesus, you can only get to God through Jesus. You can only get to God through Jesus. Well, at that time, you could only get to God through Jesus. At that time. That's how it was. And I see in certain religions, people I've heard stories about relationships with the Lord, with people in Islam, Sufis, really deep Sufis, so they have some kind of relationship with the Lord, with Sikhs, some kind of relationship with the Lord, but it's not enough, that kind of relationship with the Lord, because they are like the Lord's children. They are ways to teach us how to love God, but they can't seem to do it fully, and they could do, if they came to listen to Maharaj, they can take it to their religions. And like, for instance, in my church, in my temple, Gurdwara, my parents go to, the Gyani, which is a priest, was born in an ashram. He's got the most angelic voice. He reads so beautifully. He sings so great. He has such a gentle demeanor as well when he's got his uniform on, his dress when he's doing his preaching. But I've known these people, and I've known these people all my life that go there. I don't see how much they've changed. I don't see really. Actually, one time I've seen the Gyani have a deep, intimate relationship with somebody and shouting at him. They're shouting. And I was listening for like 45 minutes waiting to talk to him. So I see different things. So, but he knows some knowledge, but he can't give this vibration to others. He's keeping people connected in a way, but they're still on the outside. My mother's been listening, so she's a little bit further ahead. And they haven't changed. If anything, more and more material rules and regulations are coming to the Gurdwara. And so they haven't changed. And he could come here And then I'm saying to my mother, that Gyani could come and listen to Maharaj more. And they could be there, and he's reading this huge book. It's huge, that's thick, it's huge. The Guru Granth Sahib, it's huge. And he could read that, and because quite a few people come, the women, the older women, the people who are not really in society anymore, Gahastras, they're not in that anymore. They could be laughing and crying and laughing and crying in there, and growing. And, coming away from fear, coming away from the fear of, serving their husbands and serving, the women just serve. I know they do that, but they're not getting their relationship with the Lord. And that's why they serve their husbands as well, so they can get their relationship with the Lord. So here we receive everything, ultimately an intimate relationship, more intimate than any kind of sexual relationship you can have with anybody. So much more intimate than that. So much more intimate. Okay, so I'm reading from glories to Srila Gaurari. That's the first part of the Lord's life, Adi Kunda. I'm on chapter, if you have this book, I'm on chapter I'm on page 182. It's about Marian Vishnu Priya. It's chapter 15 of the Ajya Kanda. I don't know, how did I get that far? I'm not on that chapter. One moment. I'm on a different chapter. I'm on chapter 3 or chapter 2. Chapter 2. Let's go to chapter 2. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Yeah, I'm on chapter 2, sorry. Chapter 2 of the Ajya Kanda. And I'm on page 19. And I will tell you, because it tells me as well. The appearance of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The appearance of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So page 19, probably the third paragraph. Okay. Even the supposedly knowledgeable high priests, the Bhattacharyas, Chakravartis, and Mishras did not know the purpose of the scriptures. So like I was saying, my Gyani, and I've known him for years. He's lovely. He's really nice. He's really gentle. He's really good. But good isn't enough, is it? So he's like them. He just reads the scriptures. I've never, in all my time, I've been going to the Gurdwara on and off. And it's the same as the mandars, the temples, the temples, they're the same. They're not the same as Krishna conscious things though, really, because it kind of explains something there. But he doesn't explain anything because he doesn't know. He's just been taught to just read the scriptures and let the people sit there and hear it in meditation without any kind of, any kind of explanation. My parents told me to do things, this, without any explanation when everybody around me is doing it, but we couldn't. It caused rebelliousness if parents don't give some kind of explanation. So they don't explain what's in the scriptures. They just read it. So these people are in meditation and they're good. They're nice and they're good. And some of them are really nice. Are really good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And maybe explain little things. But the intimacy with all the rules and regulations they do, if you are a practicing Sikh, makes you really good. I've met some that are really nice, really gentle, and really good. And they really miss you if you don't come. Anyway, let's carry on. So they don't know how to explain them. Though they taught the scriptures, their activities were contrary to the scriptural injunctions. So, like, as Maharaj is teaching, he's teaching and he's changed. He's changed his life. He's changed how he lives. He's changed what he does. How he lives. He's changed that, and you can see that because he's been given the understanding to the scriptures, and he can instill those pastimes from the scriptures to others now. And he's been doing that for a long time. So now is the time, because he's been doing it for decades. And I keep asking, I want to ask him, how could he do classes every single day with hardly anybody coming, people coming in and out, or, probably a lot, but not really staying? Maharaj had the greatest payment. He had ecstatic love for the Lord. He had that great payment. If you have that, and now all of a sudden in 2000 and actually 2008, 17, end of that year, we all came together. And there's more devotees now, but the devotees that were there, that came together then, are still here. All of them. Is there anybody that's left? No, they're all here. They're still here. So Maharaj has been doing that for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, we all starting to come together. It is happening, guys, because this is the time now. Look at all the stuff that's going off. It still kind of seems okay here, but underneath the scenes that people, because people are so into what they're doing, they can't see, you know, the manipulation and the deception and the things that are going to happen. The things that are going to actually happen, because they've been happening a little bit. They've been happening a little bit. So let's carry on. So here we are also, you know, because we are being the scriptures, we're hearing the scriptures. They've been going in and feeding the Lord. Srila Gaura Haridas is explaining them. Maharaj, Lalita and Johan and Govinda, and I do a bit now. And the devotee can explain it, and we're changing our lives, where we go and who we go with. I'm not saying you can't go anywhere. You will be led to wanting to go to certain places because the Lord is residing here. And as Govinda said, he takes control, you know, and we use our will to serve him all the time because it's that intimacy. There's nothing better than that. Okay. So it says, though they are taught the scriptures, their activities are contrary to the scriptural injunctions. So along with their students, they drowned in the deluge of inequity. No, I don't know how to say inequity. I think that should be an E, inequity. Nobody was engaged in explaining the imports of the congregational chanting of Lord Krishna. So they're chanting all the time. You know, let me just put my finger where I am. They're chanting all the time. Inviting, they're chanting around people who are just following Krishna. They're chanting, but they cannot explain what the chanting is doing for them. They cannot change they cannot explain what is actually happening because they haven't gone through it. And they can't go through it unless they come and listen to the Maharaj and or one of the devotees, because more are being made, more and more and more. So it's not, you know, it is and it isn't. It's not you can't get home to the Lord through Srila Gaura Haridas. Well, yes, you can only get through him, but now you can get through his devotees because his devotees praise him. His devotees have intimacy with him, intimate relationship with him, as in discussing and associating and joining in the feast, the great feast of the Mahaprasad, in the festival of light every day that we come to every day. And he's making more. So there's not just, you can only get to the Lord through Jesus. Oh, no, you can only get to the Lord through Muhammad. Oh, no, you can only get to the Lord, you know, but now, you know, because Lord, somebody can correct me, but the Lord's thinking it didn't work with just one. It's not working with just one. Anyway, he had it planned out already. Now, there's many. You can get through with many as we praise Maharaj, as we are in communion with Maharaj, just speaking about him. Maharaj is here, just talking, sharing what is happening. We are devotees, and devotees can come through the devotees now. So it's not just one. You can only get to the Lord, to real devotees, to devotees who are, as Maharaj, resident of Vrindavan, and other devotees becoming more and more so residents of Vrindavan, and that truth in that way to give guidance and knowledge of how to live to others. Now, this is the government. This is the government. This is the economy. This is the hospitals. And I'm not saying we should get rid of everything, because we need these hospitals at the moment, the way people are. We need this. What's happening with the government, you know, we can't all just leave and come here in one go. I don't think it wouldn't work. Gradually it's working more so, and it's getting faster, and more devotees are there who are becoming residents of Vrindavan, where you learn to gradually trust that, grow faith in that. The Lord grows in that. you associating with that. You have every area here in this Sangha to be able to really do this course process, this postgraduate process. But you don't have to be postgraduate as in the material world. You just got to come here and listen, and you'll get everything that you need. I have not ever, oh my gosh, I'll carry on reading. Okay. So in this, the students, we are drowned out in the spiritual ecstasy of transcendence, the Lord himself, that potency of the Lord. We are drowned in that. And as we are drowned in that, as we hear and as we get drowned in that more and more, it's drowning out that ocean of niscience that just stays, that lays there, that's kind of a little bit there. I think it's there a lot, actually. And we learn so much, by hearing and hearing. We understand so much because we're clearing at the same time. Understanding is deeper, more intimate, and we're growing at the same time for our eternal life. Not for a job here, not to do something on this world, but growing and preparing and growing into our eternal life. Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. And we get all of those things here. We don't have to do it because you got to do your homework by next Monday. You got to pass this. You got to pass all of these exams by the end of this year. You got to do all of this stuff. All of those things, putting pressure on children, putting material pressure, material anxiety, material stress, material fear, material, oh my God, I can't do this, fear onto the children. And they're more attracted to their parents because they need that safety from their parents, because all of these things that they put upon, actually, Krishna just said, well, they can become good at, I don't know that. They can become good at anxieties and stress and still do loads of work. It's great when you are working for the Lord and bringing him out so others can add him to his life and eventually take over your lives. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And here, we can come when we want. We can come when we can. Whilst people are entangled in certain things, we can come at our own pace. We can learn at our own pace. It's just growing in our own time. So we're really growing now. We're not forced. We're not pushed. We're not persuaded. We're not manipulated with sweets and chocolate to go to school or do something. We are growing naturally in our own time, and it's making real, true warriors to stand up for truth, this absolute truth. And anybody can be one. And I've been one from a child. There's nothing greater to stand up for than this, because I've been the student. I'm the student, and I listen, and I'm growing and changing my activities, understanding the words, being drowned. All of this ocean of niscience being drowned out by the deluge. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have a look. Let me have a look. The deluge of the potency of the Lord. Let's see what that means here. Oh, man, sorry. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. I'm not going to stay on. Okay. Let's look at that word. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I think it might be spelled wrong. Okay, let's have a look. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, so it says here, let's see, this is how, see if you can hear it.
Iniquity.
There you go. I couldn't say it, iniquity. I can say it now. So it means immoral or gross unfair behavior. So drowned out by all of that. By being a student of the Lord, being a student of this path, being drowned out about all of that immoral behavior, all of those injustices. There's so many. The false ego cannot get any justice. It tries to get justice, and in order to do that, it does it with its how it knows its behavior, which is to kind of, you know, do what children do. Little children, that's how they know, and they carry on doing that. But the false ego keeps us like a child. That's my experience. It's kept me like a child. So let's go from there. So they can't explain the chanting. They can't explain what's happening to them. They can't explain how it's evolving and changing them and lifting them out of this ocean of niscience. Okay. In this religion, in this time of Galia, they spent their time simply finding faults in others. Now, if we do that, if we focus on just finding faults in others, then here it will be Krishna wants you to see those in everyone because they're in you or me, because they're in you. You keep focusing on it. You keep focusing on it. Like Johan keeps focusing on stuff in me. You know, whatever he's blaming me. Forget about all the other devotees in the Sangha. It's me, and it's fine. I'm all right. I'm all right about it now, because he's for some reason he's finding something this difficult. But anyway, he's seeing something in me that I keep showing. That I don't know why I was showing it. Anyway, that's he doesn't like me for it, and it's in him, and it may still be in me as well, but it's in him. People do that, and if we also focus on them, so other reason, if we focus on them, on those faults, that's all the energy that you're getting. You're not going to get through the ocean, the niscience that surrounds the Lord in this devotee. You're not going to get through and see who they really are. So like when they're going through stuff, you can see that's not them. You can see they've just got a hold on that, and that stubborn hold cannot let it go. But you can see with their activities, with their explanations of explaining the scriptures, that they have the Lord. Now, if we focus on the faults all the time, it's not helpful. But for instance, Karuna does. He focuses on them. But he has seen things in people that are coming out now that he's been saying for years to me. And I haven't believed him, you know, and I see them now. And also, I've seen them, but I've overlooked them, but not properly. Overlooked them. Well, I've tried to anyway. But I didn't really, I don't think. And now Karuna is pointing out these things in devotees that he's always been pointing out, but he never turns the table around to himself. He maybe does in his own little space, but I don't think so, you know. So if you really want to get further in this, and even that, what I'm saying, not to focus on people's faults, is a little process, takes a little bit of time, you know, and eventually, you know, by constantly hearing and being reminded of the words, don't look at the faults, and why we shouldn't look at the faults, constantly being saying that, it works. And you put aside some really shocking behavior, but I've done shocking behavior, and Krishna, you get to see the Lord in others. You get to see where people are talking from their heart in each other. And if we don't focus on them, I think that helps to kind of extinguish them. If we don't give their fault finding power, you know, it doesn't give whatever weaknesses, whatever obstacles people have. I really don't like the word fault. But anyway, those things, a more gentler world, just obstacles, just issues. We can get through them because they're not given any power. The more we focus on something, the more it makes it bigger. Yeah, so let's, okay, a little bit more, and then I'm gonna. Will someone say something? Please. As for the superstitious, so-called renunciates and hermits, not a single name of Krishna ever escaped their mouth. Those considered most pious in society were heard repeating the Lord's name, Govinda, and pundarikasa. Only once at the time of daily ablution. Devotional perspectives were invariably absent in the explanations of the transcendental literature like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is it. They're reading these books. They have these books. They can't understand them. They may have a little understanding to them, some understanding mixed with speculation, but they don't have that understanding to be able to deeply explain them. So it opens you up. So it overwhelms you. It profound. You feel these words are so profound. Oh my God, these words are so profound. When I hear Maharaj speaking from his heart, explaining these verses, deeply, it has changed one's perspective. It really has. Constantly repeating the Maha Mantra, it's okay. It keeps you. It kind of keeps you it keeps you happy. It gives you that kind of happiness, that kind of mundane kind of happiness, because you don't have the evolving, you don't have changing and the growing within, the growing of one's intimate relationship with the Lord, and going deeper down that rabbit hole, inside going down this rabbit hole, because it's the one absolute truth. And there's so many rabbit holes out there that you start looking into something, you can go deeper and deeper and get completely lost in these. There's so many things. So when with research, just do what you must, and leave the rest. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Whilst they're chanting, and people are impressed by them chanting constantly all the time, and maybe doing certain things like not eating, all of those things that the sannyasis do, and maybe the Brahmins as well. They're pious. My parents are pious. They built a temple in India. They go every year to that temple. They're quite pious. Nobody in the family really. I remember going when it was at the age of 7, when it was a bit of rubble. Now it's a really beautiful temple. I had to keep asking them if they will put picture of Maharaj there, because they have loads of, and I know it's not about Hindus, but they have a lot of people who know about Krishna and chanting as well. So there weren't any perspectives coming from devotional service, from true absolute truth, to discussing the Lord. They weren't able to do that and grow in a relationship with the world. It's just constantly repeating again and again and again. It's like when I used to get lines at school. I used to love it. Doing this, it was so easy. Just doing the same thing, writing the same thing again. And did I actually go, well, I should not do this. I should not do this, and why I did this again and again. I just wrote it out again. That was fun. But actually reading the words and really allowing them to penetrate me, so I learned that I shouldn't do what I did to get lines, loads, that you got to do like 1,000 lines or something like that. So they're doing so many chanting, but they're not actually giving anything to anybody. It's not actually going in to change, to cause movement, really. And here, every day, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, all the Bhagavad books, the ones with mainly the Caitanya Leelas, but not just, really. All of them are read. All of them are explained. All of them are explained from the heart, from ecstatic devotees. And it's causing this huge upliftment, this huge just change of perspective another change of perspective in our Sangha, to be able to keep rising. New frontier, remember, never happened before. The things here, what we are going through, getting more and more empowered. The Lord is, my God, pushing this new frontier through. It's gently pushing, it's transcendentally pushing. It's not like push and you just fall over, cause that. It's like pushing you to move forward and get stronger, and lifting the Sangha, and lifting us all up at the same time to get stronger, because the time is coming. Karuna's always saying it. Maharaj says it, it's going to get really bad. Hare Krishna to Shamagori. It's going to get really bad. A lot of people are going to die. They keep saying this. And, people have been A lot of people are dying already, but we don't know. We don't see it all the time. Well, I haven't really. So this, as the mundane world and the demons are doing what they're doing, we as the Sangha, empowered by Lord Caitanya, is coming up at the same time. So that's my bad hand. So that's the it's better than ever before. That's the material world. And this is the Sangha. So as the material world is coming up more so by causing its destruction and damage, the Sangha is being prepared and getting ready for that point. So it's all happening at that point, like that. So that's the Mandir, my hand, that one. So it's all happening at the right time. And you can see it with a lot of things that have been, if you're standing back, you can, with a lot of things that have been happening in the Sangha and how we have been moving and how what's been happening here has been moving with the that and all those other things the algorithms don't like. I don't know. I'm going to say this one thing. Can you guys check? Because when I go over my comments in classes, some of them are hidden automatically. I could understand one time because one person, I think it was William, I can't remember now. So I don't think, it was you, said jihad. And because the word jihad, and it might get thingy now, because it was hidden, but then other ones were hidden that weren't really saying much, and I didn't get that. So if anybody else is getting that, please let me know. Okay. So today I've just been speaking about, can I remember? Speaking about the detail of this path, speaking about how everything is coming, how Maharaj has been, how we came upon this path, how we how the people, the devotees who were here at the beginning are still here. They haven't gone, and we've been going through so many different things. But now we're going through more things because we've been listening a lot. We've been going through stuff and listening, and we're now going through some deep stuff that can only be really pushed out by the Lord, because you or me would never do it by ourselves. We can't. We just couldn't do that. That's why we need the Guru. We need the Guru to realize, to bring that through to us. And it's been working for all of us, more so for some. Actually, no, it's been working for all of us, just differently, because we're all different and unique. And speaking about that, speaking about the power of Maharaj, and with him being, as good as God. Oh my God. Karuna does this. We've got Maharaj everywhere. He's everywhere. And when I did, the Freeman, I was doing the Freeman. It's called Freeman on the Land. It's learning deeply about the law in this world, law in this country, actually, deeply about all the loopholes in the law, learning about all the lies and manipulations in the law. And actually, there was no God in it, really. And it was all based upon God's law, and they didn't know God's law at all. I didn't. But I wanted to know more about that than the other stuff of the material. Yes, the stuff I love, learned, helps me with certain things, and they can't abuse you and put pressure on you. It's giving you that strength. But now leaving that and coming and, why did I tell you that? I told you that for a reason. I can't even remember why I told you that. I forgot. But they didn't speak about God. But I came from there. And but I can't remember why I told you. So on that, I'm going to go. Thank you to William. Thank you to Shamagori, to Fanny. Let's see. To Tarun, Nimai Das. Thank you to all of you. And I will see you in class, I think. I should be in class. Mara should be on probably in the next hour or so. Live on Restream. Giving out some amazing classes. It's like meditation, guys. It's just like meditation. It's really nice. It's more than nice. It's just, it's absolute. It's transcendence. And it's so great. Isn't it great to be part of something? Isn't it great to be able to be involved in something and serve something? Isn't it great to have some kind of attachment to something that is just helping you grow? Going through certain things to help you grow. We go through certain things in mundane life to help us grow. But actually, what did that woman say? I was watching this film and she says, what I've been doing, she's from the foster care. I've been looking at people and just seeing the best in them, even when something inside me Even when something inside me says that they're not doing the best and this is not great and they're not very nice, you know, I've been doing that so I can live life, so I don't feel hurt and lost and scared, so I can live life. You know, I'm just going to see the best in people, and we do that. You know, it's our goodness to be able to walk this life more and more. And now we are receiving that life here. We're receiving the life that there's so many reflections of what happens in this world to what is happening deeper, more intimate in spirit. You know, this world is a reflection of spirit, and for us to learn, and it's happening here. So there isn't anywhere else to go with the things that are happening. So thank you very much. See you in class. Hare Krishna. Jai Shila Guru Haridas.